Hi friends! If you click to check out another shadow showdown, this time between Natasha Denona's Bronze Eyeshadow Palette and artist Couture Supreme Nudes, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name's Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you're returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeup, stick a head over to my Instagram. Let's see how these palettes compare. I even thought about Supreme Nudes when I was first reviewing Natasha's Bronze Eyeshadow Palette, and I did some swatches in the 4-look video for the Bronze collection. Bronze Eyeshadow Palette names. Today I want to compare the shades that are most similar head to head. Bronze Eyeshadow Palette on this side, Supreme Nudes on this side. I believe Supreme Nudes is now back in stock on artistcouture.com. So if you were thinking about it and you didn't want to get it from Sephora, you wanted to get it directly from the brand site, I could leave that link down below for you. Because this is a showdown video, I won't go in tight with the shot. I'm going to keep it around here because I think a wider shot will help us decipher the differences or similarities between the shades. And with that said, fam, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. I have the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer to prep the lid. I'm gonna pat down any creases just in case. Now there is a mustard type shade in both palettes. We have Ridge in bronze, and then we have Eccentric from Supreme Nudes. Let's start with our Sonia G Detail Pro. With this side first, I have a lot of color on the get, and whatever left over I have on the brush, we're just buffing the edges. Wiping off my brush on a microfiber towel to ensure that all pigment has lifted from the bristles. And now let's go tap, tap, tap with Eccentric and bringing that in the crease. Now you see there's a lot more pigment on the bristles, whereas Eccentric, I feel I have to go in one more time. I didn't even tap off the brush. I want all shadow to go on my crease. In the same way I dealt with Ridge, left over on the brush, just use that to buff the edges. Now between the two, you can see that Eccentric is a little more brown based. The mustard tone is definitely present, but I feel there's more of like a stronger marigold kind of hue to Ridge versus Eccentric. Let me just close my eyes so you can see any difference, similarities, you know, just feast your eyes on the mustards. Next up, let's go in with Suntan. Tapping off a little bit and going in with my Sonia G Crease Pro. Right on the outer corner, wiping off the Crease Pro and now going in. I think Transcend is the one because Aesthetic is a little more red, and I plan to match up Aesthetic to Magma, so let's go in with Transcend. So many cars. So many cars. Tap that right on top. My immediate observation is that you get a lot more punch from the get. However, though, I do feel Supreme Nudes also provides nice color. I dipped in a second time because I just wanted a little more for my out of the. So this is Transcend on top of Eccentric from Supreme Nudes, and here is Suntan on top of Ridge from Bronze, and here are both eyes together with down lids. I feel if you wanted something a little more daily friendly, then Supreme Nudes is going to deliver that, simply because it's not as intense as Bronze. Bronze, there's like a little more, like the yellows and the red, orange undertones of the shadows are a little more potent on purpose. I think that's what Natasha was going for, and maybe Angel was going for something a little more subdued. Transcend with my very old brush, well, not so very old, 2018 Chico Hodo and Beautylish holiday collab. Suntan on this side, under the lash line. Eccentric just buffing the edges of Transcend, and Ridge buffing the edges of Suntan. I definitely now want to compare Opulence from Supreme Nudes to, we could do True Copper, Alloy, True Bronze, even Silk. Silk has a little pinky tone in there that makes it very unique. I love pinky bronzes, if you didn't already know. I think I'm going to have to go with Alloy. I think Alloy has more of like that yellow hue that Opulence has, and I'm taking both textures. This is Opulence from Supreme with my finger because I feel these textures perform better with a finger application versus a brush one. And Opulence is a gorgeous shade. I think it's favored amongst many. I will take a small shader brush. This is my Esam W21 with Opulence to clean up the edge right here. You see, because I want it to be a little cleaner right there by the crease. Taking Transcend on the border of Opulence just to make that a little smoother. Ooh, this is the Chikuhodo GSN09. This brush is so soft, it just blends. I can't take it, oh my god. Now with Alloy on this side, Alloy doesn't have as much texture as Opulence. It's a little smoother, but Opulence has a little more brightness. I don't know if you can see, there's a little more shine, and Alloy has shine as well. I think because the particles are different, it's not going to give off the same effect. But there's like an antique gold shift in Alloy that is just beautiful. I don't know if you can see it, but there's something going on in that shade. I don't think I used Alloy on my lids yet. This is exciting. Suntan with my GSN09, tapping like I did with this side. Let's do Lavish for the inner corner moment. We could do Expose and do like a matte inner corner highlight, but I think I want to stick to something gold and metallic, and I'm pulling it under as well. Definitely want to do True Bronze. I think True Bronze will be our inner corner moment. Pressing that right there. This definitely has more texture than Lavish from Supreme Nudes. I think Lavish is more of a traditional metallic shade. Taking my pinky to press True Bronze where I want it to go. There it is. I want this to be smokier, so I'm taking my Chikuhodo F05 shadow brush. That was with Suntan wiped, now going in with Transcend on this side. You know what? Let's stay consistent and just continue pulling Lavish through the lower inner part of the lash line. Doing that with True Bronze. All right, let's slap on some lashes and I'll be right back. And here's a wide shot of both looks. I have the Ardell lashes in 174. I think they look pretty similar, right? From here, if I were to take away one, sure, you could probably detect a little more brown tones in the mattes. But ultimately though, even though this has a little more red and yellow to it, I think they both are very warm and bronze, right? Depending on how, again, you pair the matte with what metallic. And it all comes down to your undertone, right? I do very well with yellow, red on my eyes, but someone who has a different undertone, maybe they're lighter than me, will fare better with the more brown-based mustard and reddish browns, right? Because maybe this will be too impactful. It may look like your lids are set on fire, but I like that look. So hopefully this helped in round one. Round two, we'll get into Mink and Deep Dive, the two dark browns in the palette, as well as maybe just going left field and using the olive, and then whether we use the rhodium lavender color or the high degree metallic color from Natasha Denona. So stay tuned. Let me take the lashes off, take off this eye makeup, and I'll be right back. Beach from Bronze, and what is this? Nudes from Supreme. Go in with Beach from Bronze. I did a tap, but I think I'm gonna do another tap. That was 2 taps. Kicked off the excess Chikuhodo T6. Pull it through. This is a very like peachy type of a beige. Wipe that off and go in with Nudist. Did 3 taps. I didn't have to kick off the excess, but you know, just in case. That's very similar. This has a little more punch. Let me go back in with more Nudist. I'm not kicking off the brush. I want the most color here. What do we think, fam? I think they're very similar. That's a little lighter in tone, and this I feel has a little more peachiness to it. Now with Magma, 1, 2, 3. Go in on this outer V. I don't think I've applied Magma on Beach before. 2 taps more. I like this very smoky. Pulling it more through the crease. Just being very careful here because this gets smoky very fast. Wiping brush off, but now let's go in with Aesthetic. 1, 2, 3. Whip that around now. 1, 2, 3 again. This I feel is just has more punch. And Aesthetic, although looks like the most red tone out of the mattes in Supreme Nudes, looks significantly more brown than Magma. I'm tapping in again 3 more times into Aesthetic. Pull it through the crease. Definitely want to go into Deep Dive. So I know I have quite a bit of smoke already on this side, but I think I want to take, this is my Chikuhodo F07. It's a pencil brush, but it's very soft. I think appropriate to get into deep dive, and I'm picking up quite a bit. And I want to nudge it first on the 3/4 out from the lash and then create smoke like that. I'm just whipping the edges so it can melt into magma. I love this freaking shade. It is so pretty. Lower out a third. Same brush, same shade. Same brush wiped now with Mink. I'm gonna do the same technique. It's like a very smoky 3/4 wing. Dipping in again. One more time, out a third, same brush in Mink. Now from the get, this has a lot more punch and you can see deep dive more distinctly. I think because magma is just more red tone, so you can see that contrast. Here I feel Mink just kind of melted together into aesthetic, which is fine. I think this is a beautiful setup. Like, I love this, totally. The aesthetic shade, not as red, right? So I think maybe more approachable for the makeup wearer who's not into the reds and just heavy plum browns, but more so leaning overall brown and undertone. I think I want to do Supreme and do Rhodium on this eye. That's going to be so nice. I'm going to take Supreme with my finger and get the olive here on this side. Now there is no olive shade in the bronze palette, so that is the first standout difference between the two. Using my brush to just wedge more Supreme under the crease, dabbing more on aesthetic. Now with Rhodium, right here. I kind of did this look yesterday in my 4-look video. Is very similar. Maybe I did a little heavier, or maybe not as heavy today with Deep Dive. Going in again. Let's see here. I think I want to go left field and put on Bliss. I didn't do this yesterday. I'm dying to know what that combination gonna be like. Could be a total disaster. Let's see. Oh, no, not at all. That's beautiful. I'm sure Bliss will look good on that side as well, but we can't mix. We're in a showdown. We can't mix it. What shall we put on this side? Well, I could go in with Opulence. I could go in with Lavish. I could do Exposed. I could do Exposed as my inner corner highlight. I'm gonna tap that right over and whisk it in so it melts nicely into the Supreme shade. How about Gloaming? Gloaming on the lower lash line on the Natasha side? Right here. This is a shade that Supreme News definitely doesn't have. Anything reddish, orangey, coppery, except what exists in the Opulent shade. Like, you're not going to get the red tones here in Supreme Nudes. And with that said, I might as well go in with Bronziana. On this side, that will be our lower lash line moment. Just one more zhuzh through my Wayne Goss small artist brush. All right, let's step on these lashes again and I'll be right back. I forgot to do a close-up of both looks. So here are with the eyes closed. You can see this is definitely just olive bronze, and here we have the lavender with the more red tone metallics and mattes, and they're just totally two different looks, right? I think what the Roll Supreme has in the palette is that you have another shade besides a gold or bronzy type of hue to put on the lid to play up the color story a little bit. But here, I mean, this shade with the reds and the oranges and the mustard shades, it's just so beautiful. On the lips, I have the Natasha Denona Lip Foria in Tan Nude. That's what I had on the first two looks. And on the outer corners, I applied Caramel and a little bit of the Esum lip liner in the Brown Duo. Oh yes, juicy. So again, this is a little more subdued, a little more chill. And this is like definitely giving me desert vibes, as I was talking to my friend Casey about, you know, in terms of the color story and what palette that inspires in your brain. And when it comes to deciding which one I love more, it really all depends, because I was saying in my eyeshadow palette tag video that I would very much rely on this as my everyday palette, and I think these tones just offer up maybe an opportunity to create a look that's a little more chill if I don't, you know, whoever is working right now, whatever environment you find yourself in. If you can't do like the rich reds and coppers and golds, and you have to stick to something a little more subdued because you have the more neutral cool tones included in the palette as well, you could definitely utilize that palette for those purposes. And again, I would rely on this for a photo shoot unless it's a very specific photo shoot, right? But usually if it's just for, if I was filming a video or something, I wouldn't necessarily want these tones on my lids. I would go for something like Silhouette, right? Something neutral so my eyes don't look distinctly different from the rest of my face. Although I could use Beach. Beach definitely has a little more peachiness to it than Exposed does, or Nudist, excuse me, in the Supreme Nudes palette. I prefer the Bronze palette because it just has more metallics and more duochromes. Supreme Nudes only has the 4, right? So if you're more of a matte person, sure, Supreme Nudes. But if you're more of a metallic duochrome person, then Bronze, I was gonna say Bronze Seduction, wrong brand. The Bronze eyeshadow palette will work out. And I definitely have more favorites in the Bronze palette than I do in Supreme Nudes. Although Opulence and Supreme are gorgeous shades, I love the Supreme Nudes palette. Listen, High Degree, Palladium, Bliss, this freaking rhodium shade, I can't. And Deep Dive, I love. Plum Brown or Eggplant Brown, which is the more accurate description, kills me. I just love that tone of brown. It just has so much smokiness, so much character. It has a little something else to the look that you just can't get from a regular dark brown. And although I love this, yes, it's gonna give me that smoke, it's gonna give me a little bit of but this shade right here is just phenomenal. It leaves me speechless every time. And the other metallics in here, I really think this is her best 15 pan mini out of the ones that she has released. And I love Sunrise, okay? That palette is glorious, and I do want to film another video using Bronze with Sunrise, but I have to say every freaking shade in here pulls up. It really does, with performance and the color story. With Supreme Nudes though, Supreme Nudes I don't think should be overlooked. And don't fall for the hype if the hype is not for you. If you don't like what exists in the Bronze eyeshadow palette, if you're not into the reds and the coppers and the mustard marigolds, no matter what you do, it just makes your face look crazy, then no matter how much I gush over it, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that is okay. You don't have to force yourself to like it if I'm just like, oh my god, that Bronze eyeshadow palette is amazing. Maybe this is more your speed. This is, again, not to be overlooked. This is a beautiful palette as well. It's just a different angle. It's a different approach. I think it definitely will serve a different role in one's makeup routine in terms of what events or what environment you find yourself in, that perhaps these shades are just more appropriate for those circumstances. And that is the Showdown, fam. I love the Bronze eyeshadow palette more because I just love these tones, but again, I feel I could get away with them. They mesh well with my skin tone. But Supreme Nudes is amazing as well, but the Bronze. Hopefully this video helped in bringing you to a decision. Maybe you don't have either palette, you were deciding between the two, and hopefully these demos kind of helped you decide what color story will work better for you in terms of what your undertone is, what your lifestyle is. And stay tuned for Sunrise and Bronze. I definitely want to combine those two. I kind of want to combine that with the gold palette too. I guess I'm just going to make Natasha Denona videos for the rest of the month. I hope she doesn't screw up. Please don't screw up so I have content to make, Natasha. And with that said, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review tutorial, eyeshadow palette showdown. Get ready with me or nightly life chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.